So today I'll talk about prediction markets, and so these are the main four topics that I will talk about. The first one is what are prediction markets, then how is it different from traditional betting platforms. The third one is technology and the working process. So this one I won't go very deep into it because even I'm not very aware about the technical workings in depth. All I know that it works on the blockchain platform. So that's what it is. But then also I'll try to cover a bit. And most importantly, I want to cover the fourth point, like what are the practical uses of this. The first one, I want to cover it from an investment perspective, how it can be used, how it is used. And the second is how is it beneficial to society in general. So these are the four areas that I want to cover. So I'll start with what are prediction markets. For that, I'll show you the homepage of Polymarket first. So have you heard of the name Polymarket earlier?
No, means I researched it after you told me about it, but before that I have not heard of it.
Okay, so even me, like only this month, only in on November onwards, I started to learn about what prediction markets are, what is poly market, and so on. So it's recent, it's a new thing for me too, relatively. So what I've learned is that here it's almost like it's a combination of both like betting and investing, but it is much more wide in nature. Like for example, if I invest, you can only invest in stock markets, like in companies. That's all. And betting is mostly you can bet on sports. I think so. That's the only mainstream one. Maybe there are some other things I don't know, but mostly you can bet only on sports. But this,
Yeah.
you can bet in a lot of different areas. So I'll go into this, but I've generated some definitions of what prediction markets are. So let's look at that, and then we'll come back to this screen again and some of those things. So, okay, let's look at this first one. So it says prediction markets are platforms where individuals can trade contracts based on the outcomes of future events, also known as information markets or event derivatives. They allow participants to essentially bet on the result of future events, ranging from political elections to sports games to economic indicators and so on. Okay, so that's more of a formal definition, and I've generated a few more. This is a much more non-technical that I try to generate. Let me see how it says. So prediction markets are like stock markets for future events. But instead of trading company shares, participants buy and sell contracts based on outcomes such as candidate A will win the election and so on. And the price of a share is between $0.01, like 1 cents, to $1. So $1 is 100 cents and $0.01 is 1 cent. Okay. So, and this can also be, why is it between 0 and 1? Because it can also be translated as the probability of occurrence of the event based on the perception of the public. That's why it's between 0 and 1. Because the 1 means $1 means it's 100% care. That probability of occurring, 0 means there's no probability. And so, okay, so these are the two definitions that I found. Okay, now let's look at this one. So this is the trending one. Like these are the most trending bets that are going on. Okay, so let's look at some of those. Okay, let's suppose this one. Which company has the best AI model end of 2025? So as per the, I also mentioned it. Why is it different from traditional markets? I'll also come to that one. But first, let me just look into this. So there are all of these companies named listed, and right now the public perception is that Google by the end of 2025, Google's AI models will be the best. But also there is a rule that is being mentioned here, the rules. So the market will result to yes if any model owned by Google has the highest arena score based on the chatbot arena LLM leaderboard. So I mean there has to be some like objective measure of things. Like you can't objectively just subjectively say no, I think Google is better, not like that. Or even the benchmarks, you can't just use any other thing. As per this specific bet, which is this link, these are the rule.
Mm.
It only has to rank top in this leaderboard, not anything else. So this there definitely are some objective rules behind it. So so when the table under leaderboard tab is checked as on 31st December 2025, 12 p.m. So with as of this time period in this chatbot leaderboard, whichever AI model is at the top, that model will win. So these are the rules of the game. So as per this, the public perception is that Google's uh, AI model is the best, is going to be the best.
Now here,
So
how are
now,
the prices defined for the different? How is it changing?
yes, so that's what I'm going to say. Okay, I'll try to say here, try to give an answer, which will come to, so it comes to the second part. How is it different from traditional betting markets? So in this case, this is more like a stock market. So in a stock market, the prices of a share is determined by the demand and supply, or more like a demand of the stock. So if you have, if the public has a perception that this company is going to perform well, so the more people are willing to buy the stock of that company. And since more people are willing to buy, so the demand is high. So if the demand of a thing is high, its prices automatically go high. Because the ones who are holding onto it, they'll demand higher prices for it. So it goes high. So the same thing goes here. So initially, there is an article that explains it much better about how initially it starts. But suppose we are looking at some time period. Let's look at now. So as of now, so for Google, it's 0.9 and 0.1 for yes and no. So this thing will change over time based on the demand. Suppose if people are researching more and more about it and they think that no, there is no way any other companies can go. So people will try to buy more and more of yes because right now there are some people who are betting on XAI, some are betting on Anthropic, and so on. So as the time comes closer and closer, they are realizing that no, there's no way these other companies can uh, overcome Google. So let's buy. So that the only way is Google. So they will start to buy more and more of Google's yes shares. So the demand for yes shares will increase. So hence its price will start increasing from 0.9 to maybe 0.91, 0.95. So it will start to increase because the demand is more. And on the
Mm.
same end, if the yes demand is more, then obviously the no's demand will be less. But there will be some crazy person who will think, okay, maybe what if something comes? So its price is low, but the payout might be like some people are willing to take the risk. Some will not buy. But overall, its value will start to go lower, like 0.05, 0.001. It will start going low. So once demand, it all depends on demand and supply.
Also,
That's,
then is there any limit on the number of shares or things here like that?
so that I am not sure of. Like, I yes, I'm not sure how it happens. But
So because I
as
think I read that there is no like you can withdraw the your bet anytime.
yeah,
So
it's
as it gets closer to the result date, if you see that Google is going to win, you
yes.
can withdraw whatever you have, whatever wherever else you had put the money in, and you can then bet for Google. Then how is that going to work?
No, if you withdraw, like you'll get back your money, like whatever winnings you are getting. So that is the thing. It says that it's not, it's since it's a peer-to-peer thing. It's on the blockchain. So you're not betting against a in a traditional betting platform. You are betting
No, so,
against a
so
house.
you
So
this
how
is
this?
going to last till a certain amount of time till the result is out.
Yes,
Right. Today I bet on, let's say, XAI,
yes.
and the probability of XAI winning is going down. So does that
Okay.
mean that my value is going down?
Yes, your value is going down. Definitely.
So
Suppose
if I
okay,
withdraw
you continue.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
not tomorrow, let's say after 2 weeks later, I
Okay.
when I invested, the chance of XAI winning was 90%. So it was
Yes.
9 cents.
Yes.
Then it came down to 50%. So it is 5 cents now. So if I withdraw all my shares, I will get that amount of shares into zero point 0.5, not what I initially
No.
invested, right?
No. You yes. So yes. So let's try to do it numerically here. Suppose it's 0.09. Suppose you have invested also. 1 second. Let me show you this thing. So you can see in this screen that there's an amount tab here.
Yeah.
So suppose if I want to buy yes, and if I say I want to buy $1, so I'll get 1.11. So if I win, I'll get 1.11
If you buy only for $1.
for $1. So how is it determined? So let me try to look at the maths behind it. So this is 0.19 cents. So okay, suppose if I put 0.9 here, okay, 0.9, I'll get $1. I'll tell you what happens. So this thing is resolved at the end. So this is not the intermediate price. If you sell it in the middle, this is not what you'll get. This is what you'll get if you hold it till the end. So I'll tell you what
Mhm.
happens is that this 90 and 11, or let me, okay, this is some spread. That's why it might be 11. It's not really adding up to 100. But what happens is that at the end, there'll be a binary result, either yes or no. Either Google will win or it will lose. There'll be no draw. So at the end, this share, the yes will turn into $1 and the no will become zero. So if you suppose if I invested the exact amount of this, if I invested exactly 0.9, then my $0.9 will become $1. But if I suppose uh, invested $100, that means I bought more than one share. So one share is worth 90. So let me try to calculate this one here. Okay. So right now, one share equal to $0.9. So amount that I am going to invest is $100. So the question is, how many shares did I buy? So this will be determined by 100 divided by 0.9. It's like one apple is 5 rupees. I spent I spent 50 rupees to buy apples. So if I ask how many apples did I buy? 50 divided by 5, I bought 10 apples. You understand this logic?
Yeah.
So similarly, if one share is 0.9 and if I spend $100, then how many shares did I buy? Whatever it was, 111.11 shares I bought. And as I've said, at the end, this will be binary. So if I win, if this prediction comes out to be true that Google is the best model, so this will translate into $1. So my $100, and since I own 111.111 shares, so my $100 of investment will turn into 111.111. And if I lose, it will turn into zero. I won't get anything back. Zero.
Okay, and then if you had bought the shares when the one share was not 0.9 but 0.7, let's say,
Yeah.
but
Then what
at
will
the
happen?
end the share price is 0.9, will you get the value of 0.9 or for 0.7 only?
No, what did you say? At the end, it is 0.9. At the end, it
When
will
you
only be
had
one. Yes.
placed the bet,
Yes. It was 0.7.
one share was 0.7.
Okay. Okay. Now, what are you saying?
After a certain amount of time, the share now before the result is out is 0.9.
Okay.
So person who invested $100 when the share was 0.7 and person who invested when it is 0.9
Yes.
is not the same.
Yes.
So it will depend on when you invest,
Yes. Because if
when
if
you
it's
place the bet.
0.7, if I spend $100, that means how many shares did I buy? So again, it is 100 divided by 0.7. Let me calculate with the calculator. 100 divided by 0.7 is this is 142.85, and that divided by 0.9 was 111.111. So if I buy at 0.7 and if I hold it till maturity, then I will get this amount of. And if I buy it at a higher probability, I'll only get this amount. So this is what's going to happen.
So when you place a bet on something that has lower probability of winning, your payment or your in
Out
result will
profit.
be profit will be higher.
Yes. But also you're
Okay.
taking more risk, like since it is lower probability of happening. And it is bound to like fluctuate. It's 0.9 that you're seeing it today. Maybe 1 week from now, it will fluctuate. It won't be 0.9, like depending on how the events are happening. And this is what is the collective wisdom. Because again, I wanted to talk about this thing. The traditional betting platforms, the odds are not determined by, again, there are no such kind of odds for which model for like sports there are. So even there, suppose two teams are playing, like Real Madrid and Barcelona. So this is Real Madrid winning, Barcelona winning, or there is a draw. This there will be scores like 3.15, 2, like 2.5. So suppose if you bet on Real Madrid winning, you will win whatever. Suppose you spend $100, you will get $315. And if it's a draw, you'll get you can only bet on one thing. You can't bet on all three of this one any one of those things. So why is it 3.5? Why is it now 6.15? You don't know. Like it is, they will determine the numbers. And they will determine in such a way that no matter whatever is the result, they themselves will always have enough money. So these numbers may not reflect the real world outcome of the result. They will choose the numbers so that they make money. So it's more of an entertainment thing, not a predictor of the real world events. But again, there are also bets for like football matches in poly market as well. But there, no one is setting the probability rules by themselves. It is the people based on their knowledge of the sport or whichever subject matter the question is in. They are placing their bets based on that one. So the probability is generated by the collective wisdom of the crowd or the people. So that's one of the things. And again, keeps fluctuating. And also, you
Can
asked,
you go back? Yeah.
okay, what were you saying?
No, you can continue. I'll ask it later.
Yes, yeah, and you asked something like this, like suppose, I don't know if you asked exactly like this or not. Like suppose I buy it at 0.7 and now the value is 0.9. If I want to sell it now, what will happen? Yes, what will happen? Even what is going to be my payout right now? I think It will be the difference. Even I'm not sure. Suppose, okay, it is 142.
So
That
I think it will be
means,
then it will be 0.9. It will be multiplied by 0. I mean divided by 0.9 at that point. Because if you win,
yes.
uh,
No, no, this is not, I'm not going to win. I'm selling the share before the resolution. So if I hold this share till the end, I'll get this one. But if I suppose, because I'm not sure anymore. Suppose it's 0.9, but I'm still not sure. So I want to uh, reduce it. Actually, okay, I'll calculate this on my own, maybe, because it'll take time to think.
I think it will be something like 100 by 0.7 into 0.9.
That if I 142.85 to 0.9, the result I'm getting is 128.57. Maybe.
Because
Yes, I'm not getting one
when
dollars.
yeah, you're not getting $1. If you win, it
Yeah,
becomes $1.
yeah, it's 0.9
Each
items, so
share
I get
becomes
0.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think we'll get 128. Yeah. Oh, yes, I think it makes sense now. Okay. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because suppose I'm taking my chances. For example, if suppose I can take the risk of holding it till the end and win, then I'll have a bigger chance of getting 142.85. But suppose if it doesn't go, if I lose, then it's zero. Then I'll get nothing. But the in between this and this, I can take a little bit less of profit with $128, but at least it is better than zero. So yes, it makes sense. I'm yeah, reducing the risk. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I think this also covers the point. Which screen am I right now? Am I in the writing screen or the polymarket screen?
You're not better.
Yeah, no pen. Yeah. Mm. Yes. So basically this covers the working process part of things, how these things happen. And the technology, I already told that it's the blockchain works in blockchain. It's peer to peer. So there's no traditional betting platform. So betting platform, I also talked about this odds like 0.9, 0.7 in here. It happens through supply and demand of the audience, the people who are making the bets. As it is more like the stock market. Even the prices of the stock market happens demand and market. Nobody sets the in the beginning when the IPO happens, the prices are set. But once the IPO goes on, after the IPO, when the buying and selling of shares happen, it all depends upon the uh, demand of the share. The company, if people think the company is going to do good, the prices will increase. Nobody's setting the thing. So same goes on here. But in traditional platform, let me show you if it's possible to show some traditional betting platforms. Maybe this is so fast. You see the odds here. This one. I mean, the mobile app is much better than the web, but still you can see some odds here.
Mm.
Okay, so these are the odds. Like for example, Bayern versus Saint Pauli. So who's going to win? Full time. Since Bayern is obviously the bigger team, so it's 1.09. That means if you bet $100, you'll get $109. But for Saint Pauli, it's 23. Because the odds, it's a very uh, weak team compared to Bayern Munich. So its chances of winning are very low. But if you bet there, there's a very high chance of getting money. So if you bet $100, you'll get $2,300. But since the result is very likely, so the chances are that if you bet $100, you're going to lose it. So that's the thing. So their idea, the whoever is the bookmaker, their idea is to tempt you. Like, okay, what if St. Pauli beats Bayern Munich? So you'll have then I'll win 23 times my original investment. So you'll have this temptation to go. But Bayern Munich, I'll only get $9, 1.09. This is nothing. So what's the point of investing there? So very few people will invest there. But this is
So
this
what is
sounds
the meaning
tempting.
of that red arrow going down for Bayern? Like, are people considering that they will lose?
No, I think the value is going down. Maybe it's 1.09 now. Maybe after like some time it will again go 1.05. I think it was lower. So
What
its
is at the
probability is,
at the Asian handicap part, 1.83 and 2.03?
yeah, those are different things. Like there are different kinds of bets here. This one means I think so. If Bayern scores more than 22.5 goals, I mean it scores more than two goals or not. So there are different kinds of bets. It's not just winning or losing. How many goals will Bayern score? So those kind of things. So, so there are different kinds of betting systems are there. So they're like for first half, who's going to lead in the first half? Who's going to like there are many different things, but this is the simplest one that I think to understand like overall who's going to win the match. I think it just changed. Did you see?
Yeah.
26 to 23 it happened. And this was 1.09, it became 1.07. So these are also changing, fluctuating. But these are not based on supply and demand. This is paid by 1x bet. This platform is doing this. This is not the people, the collective consciousness coming. Okay. And definitely they'll try to tempt you to bet here because uh, you'll win now 23 out of 20, it is 26 times. But more likely, the more you're going to lose this thing because it's very unlikely that St. Paul is going to beat Bayern Munich. You know what? Let's see if the same thing is there on Polymarketer as well. Yes, even here is the same thing. It's 90-10. It's most people more are likely to win this. Yeah.
So if you bet on no and St. Pauli wins, you're going to get 898.
Yes. So here, yeah. What am I betting for here? I'm betting for, yeah. I'm saying that Bayern Munich will not win here. So that means St. Pauli will win and I'll get $819. So this brings me, we have about 8 minutes left. So this brings me to the final part, the practical uses. So what I have told about that there are two practical uses. One is from an investment perspective. The second is a benefit to society. So what do I mean by this thing? So from an investment perspective, it is what I want to say is that now people can bet in a wide range of things because earlier, let me- because there are people who have expertise in a lot of things, but they can't make money off them. And so traditionally, what you can do is if you only have expertise in stock market, you can invest in stock market. And if you have expertise in sports, you can bet there. And even then, since the prices are determined by the house, you don't know how truly it reflects those things. So the ability to monetize your knowledge was very limited. But with this, there are so many different areas. For example, this is the Chile presidential election. Who is going to win? Let's see. So there is someone who is very knowledgeable in politics. They might use these things. Again, there are the rules like uh, or yeah, those rules are there. So right now, so I don't know anything about the politics of Chile, but someone might know this, and I think it's very close. It's 16th November. I think it's already been held. Okay, result will be known by 2026. Anyways, like people with knowledge of different areas can vote on this. So if you look at culture, the number of views on Mr. Beast's next video. Uh, there are like most streamed Spotify artists in 2025. But there are like all kinds of things. What will happen before GTA 6? There are so many kinds of things that people can bet on. Like who knows? People might have expertise in those kind of things. Game of the year 2025. Like there are people who are interested in games, they know all of those things, but they can't monetize those skills. Now with this, they have the ability to monetize those skills, like make money of their knowledge. This is one thing, the first thing. As an investment point of view. This is one benefit. The second
Okay,
is,
also one point in this one.
yeah,
Who is starting this? Like anyone can start
yeah,
this kind of betting.
yeah. Who start these questions? Who post these questions? You're asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, even I'm not sure about this. So let me just briefly ask Perplexity if I can. Yeah. Users cannot therefrom controls which markets are listed. So you can suggest, okay. Okay, so there are suggestions, but I think there are employees there who evaluates those things and then comes up. Like it's not like a social media X platform. You can't just post a question and make the prediction. So there is a evaluation criteria behind this thing. So that's one thing.
So there's some aspect of it is still centralized.
Yeah, I think yes. I mean the decision making about what is there or not there is centralized in terms of yes. But I think this also comes into this the since it's peer to peer, there has to be so I have to understand more about the technical parts of it because what if nobody is willing to back those kind of questions? Like you, suppose for my own benefit, I'll make some silly questions and post it. Like
Mm.
then how will there be equal matching of those things? I think for that I'll have to look more into the details of how the technical mechanism works as well. So that is also needed. Okay, 3 minutes left. Okay, so that was the first one. The second one was the benefit to society. So the benefit is that since is the collective wisdom, that's the term that's being used to define this. since the bets are not made by the any central person. So even though the questions are being selected, the overall probability of occurrence is not made by anyone. It's collectively it happens by the supply and demand of the yes and no shares. So uh, there are 2 minutes. I think it will take me 10 more minutes to explain this one. So should we start a new one? Because otherwise I'll try to hurry this and I won't be able to explain it properly.
Okay.
Okay, I'll stop this one, then you'll start. So I'll talk about the societal benefit of this prediction markets. So there was this post made by this person, the bear gave. He wrote this post on prediction markets. So it's a paid post, but there was a part where he mentions the benefit of prediction markets. So initially it says that yeah, many have predicted prediction markets as another form of gambling. Like it's a new way for this degenerate generation to bet on everything while providing nothing of value. But he thinks that it's not wrong. There is some value to it. In fact, there is a very important value to this. Prediction markets are a form of betting, but with a beneficial byproduct, reliable information. By providing everyone with better information to make better decisions, prediction markets will serve as a disruptive force in this media, finance, etc. Okay, so it gives a few examples. Like there was a score of this movie, and prediction markets uh, predicted the quality of that movie better than this Rotten Tomatoes website, which is a movies review website and so on. But it gives a much more important example somewhere else. Okay, this one. Prediction markets can be applied to matters of more substance, that is, matters of more importance. Prediction markets can help executive determine which legislations will become law and so on. And this was the important thing that I found interesting. Prediction markets are most useful for people with the least reliable information, such as civilians in war-torn areas. Foreign market offers several markets on whether and when, for example, this is one example, like when Russia will capture certain portions of Ukraine during the ongoing war. When viewed strictly as betting, these markets can appear like, yes, this is a critic, like there are people dying and you are making money of their predictions. So it's like a very sick sport. What is this game? The Hunger Games. Because if you've seen that movie, it's like people they're killing each other and making making it as an entertainment. So it seems more like a Hunger Game. But this is one criticism. But on the other hand, it has the potential to correctly uh, predict the outcome of such kind of events because of motivations. So, which I'll explain it, but first I'll talk about what he says. Prediction markets are beneficial because they are better than the alternative, relying on mainstream media. Why? Because this is partly because prediction markets only incentivize accuracy rather than views, clicks, selling subscriptions, or catering to the crowds. This thing resonated with me very much. I think that is what convinced me that this argument is valid because I have experienced it personally when I watch football news. So it's not a very important thing like war, but still. So I remember earlier, like maybe like 7, 8 or 10 years ago when I watched some football analysis on TV. It was very technical, like there were boards and they were explaining the movements of players and so on, and so those kind of things. Even now they're there, even still there. But it is also a bit boring because even though it's accurate, it gives beneficial information, but it's boring. Like most people do not may not like those things. And what is their incentive? Because they are a media platform at the end of the day. And their incentive is that the more viewers they have, the more revenue they will get. So at the end of the day, they want to make money. But telling the truth does not guarantee the maximum amount of revenue. It's talking about the most outrageous things. Because again, I'll give example of footballs. Like if you say something that is quite like what's the word? The rage bait. Like if
Yeah.
it will rage bait you. For example, suppose Erling Haaland is playing very well, then there will be a title. Erling Haaland is not a great striker. Then people will listen to how is it possible? He's playing so well. Now you'll click on that. And even in the argument, you'll see it's pointless argument, like 10-minute pointless video. They'll just to rage bait you. They'll start making all sorts of claims.
Mhm.
They are not trying to find the truth about whether he's a great striker or not. The fact
Yeah.
that they're just trying to rage bait you into more clicks, but they're not trying to get into the truth of the matter, whether he's a good striker or a bad striker. They just keep telling anything. But suppose if those same people, you ask them to place a bet about, okay, in the next match, Haaland is going to score or not, or who is going to be the top scorer of this season, Haaland or not Haaland. Automatically, you'll see these people will start betting on Haaland. So what happened? All of a sudden, you are telling Haaland is not good striker. He's not a good striker. So why are you betting now? Because now the incentives have changed. The core incentive is still the same, that you want to make money. Okay. That if you tap into the deepest, darkest desire of human to make money, you're still tapping into those things. But now the path has changed. Now it's not through rage bait and clickbaits and selling subscriptions. It's about getting to the truth of the matter. And your correct prediction of the truth of the matter is going to earn you money. So what does that mean? That you are actually going to analyze the situation objectively and try to predict what's going to happen. So now
Yeah.
it's not just about football, it's about politics because most of the news channels are all about politics and culture and so and the developments that are happening there. So now if you change the incentive to more views and more selling of subscriptions into finding the truth of the matter. And now it's not just limited to the traditional media. Any human can bet on those things. So if you pose questions like this, will Russia capture this station by October 31st, November 30, December 30, like at the end of each month? So a news channel might cover this story based on what's going to get them the most clicks. But humans who want to make money of the correct prediction of this event will not try to sensationalize this news. They'll try to research, look at the developments happening, and try to correctly predict what's actually going to happen. And as a result, if you use now this Polymarket homepage, not as a betting platform, but as a news platform, you think of this is a news site. Okay, what's going to happen here? Let me see. Okay, Honduras presidential election. Instead of looking at a news site, let me just look at the predictions here. So it says that okay, there is a 61% chance that this person is going to win. And I think instead of referring to a news channel, let me just I think this is going to be a much more accurate source of information for me. So you can treat this as a news site instead of looking at traditional media because the people here have the right incentive to find the objective truth as compared to traditional media. So that's my second point about benefit to society.
Yeah.
So what are
Okay.
your thoughts?
So mm, I mostly agree.
Right.
But I have just one point here or a question. So for example, the question of like I saw some markets here asking the question, will Russia and Ukraine sign a peace agreement or whatever,
Here.
similar to that. Yeah, somewhere like ceasefire in 2025, the first one.
Okay.
It's,
Yes.
and people will have the incentive to bet correctly, that is true, and they will research whatever. But again, the source of this information, you can assume that maybe there are few people who have some insider knowledge and they are also betting, but most people will be common people who will be betting based on what their understanding of the current situation is. But
Yes.
for things like this, lot of things happen behind the scenes that we do not know. So we are
Yes.
still relying on information that is not available to us to predict what is going to happen. So this displays what the overall maybe group of people think might happen or
Mm.
what the common consensus is, but we still cannot guarantee that behind the scenes something else completely else is going on.
Yes, I agree because there is an information mismatch, so this might not be an accurate reflection of the things.
Yeah.
Yes, I. So that is a good point against this. So yes,
And
that
also
is possible.
it's a case by case. Like this is a very sensitive war going on, especially between two nations that is stopping information from coming out.
Yes,
So you will not have access to information. But the other things like that Game of the Year one, that is a very the information is open to there. You can just play the games and identify what you like, what the overall people are thinking. That information is accessible. But
yes,
certain events you will not have the actual truth, and many times it may be your bias that is in display here.
yeah, that is true. Like your point is correct because certain events might not have that amount of information, so those predictions may be inaccurate. But even for those kind of events, uh, this article also mentions certain things that might negate that to a certain extent, I think. Okay, so one of the things he says that the financial incentives for correct predictions also mean these markets often surface information that the mainstream media misses and unlock talent previously ignored. This is one of the things that I previously mentioned that people having expertise, but you can see like what kind of tricks people will play to gain more information. For example, this. For example, one legendary trader with millions in lifetime profits under the pseudonym Domer. So this person, he famously tracked the private jets during the 2008 elections and deduced that Sarah Palin was the vice presidential nominee by finding an overnight flight from Alaska to Ohio in the hours before John McCain running made announcement. A level of diligence well beyond traditional media. So did you understand what this person did here?
Yeah,
Actually,
so you
okay, yeah, go.
no, no, I can continue nothing.
No, I was about to say that there was a movie based on this, not this scenario, but about John McCain and Sarah Palin, about this thing, about this 2008 presidential nominee. I saw that movie, so I understand this references, but this trading was not mentioned there. This is a new thing. So what you're about to say?
No, nothing else.
Okay, so it says that again. I don't know what. Okay. And this statement is important. Like it does not 100% fix what argument you made about uh, incomplete information. Yeah, it does not 100% fix that, but to an extent it tries to work on that. Because it says that this market often surfaces information that mainstream media misses because they do not have the incentive. Like why should I go so much? Like if I want to make profit, the more sense. My point is to just sensationalize or try to hype things up. Those kind of car that is going to make me more views and hence more money. Getting to the bottom of the matter and finding the truth is not my primary goal for a media company. But there are some crazy people who I think this is in a way data analytics. Like who like in a normal person it won't even occur to their mind that let me look at the patterns of the flights. This way, this he tracked private jets. It's not even public jets, private jets. And I don't know how he accessed those data. But this is the thing I'm saying. There are hackers like those kind of people who has access to things. Like they are not like official things, but they are good with hacking and those kind of things. They can access information. So maybe they might track the supply of weapons being sold and the transportation, logistics, those kind of things. Who knows? This crazy means like they are nerds in all sorts of niches. They might be tracking those kind of things. Okay, what's the supply? They'll track the supply of ship of weapons to and between US and Ukraine and these supply chains and make all sorts of connections and try to come up with an idea that okay, probably this is what is going on in Russia and Ukraine right now. So
Yeah, so if we
yeah,
can assume that people are betting on this kind of platforms are of a diverse background,
yeah, yeah,
and they're not trying to skew the bet in any particular direction, then in the point of view of news, you can look at this kind of bets, and it could be a starting point for research. For example, you saw that most people are betting against any peace agreement. Then you can take that direction and try to figure out why most people are thinking that it is not going to happen.
yes,
And that is also, like I said, it is assuming that this is not a skewed population of user. Because
yeah,
if people with a certain agenda flock to this marketplace, and they just to for their advantage, everyone just bets on yes as a like a group effort, then
mm,
the whole point is defeated. But since the background is some blockchain and stuff, so I don't know how it is managed. But in traditional betting system, that could be the case, right? Where you is sort of like match fixing,
yes,
where you've already decided the winner and you're trying to uh, manipulate people into either betting on the other side or this side. This has to be truly decentralized.
yes, yeah. That is true. So, but I mean, I saw a video which made a similar kind of reference. I did not understand what I was trying to say, but for example, suppose someone is, for example, Russia versus this ceasefire in 2025. So, which means I think so the by end of December 31st, 2025, will there be ceasefire? And if someone is, what's the status right now? Like there's a 9% chance of ceasefire. And if people are deliberately trying to do this thing, and see, suppose if you're trying to do this thing, then what will be my benefit, like as a team? Because the actual event is I can only manipulate the market. I can't manipulate the real world event because this Russia and Ukraine ceasefire is not within my control. So if I'm trying to falsely say that it's not going to happen, but if it in fact it is going to happen, then I'm going to lose my money.
But actual kind of there are situations where you will have control. Some people will have control over the real-time events.
Like
So
best
I'll give
game
you
of the year.
yeah, I mean, I'll give you example from a TV show. Have you
Okay.
seen Peaky Blinders?
I think one episode I've seen,
Then
but
from the first episode itself,
Okay.
So you remember how the series starts by him going like on a horse with
Yes.
some powder trick. So
Maybe I have. Yeah, okay. Go on.
okay, I'll tell you. So he takes a horse to some area, some person,
Mm.
and does a powder trick on the horse. So what the powder trick is supposed to signify that it has been announced. So it's some kind of what is the word, superstition, that if a horse has been done that powder trick, then it is going to win the race. So he does that in public, so everyone sees it happening. And
Okay.
then but actually there's nothing, no trick there. It's just a
Okay.
superstition that people believe. So when people saw that the horse has been spiked that way, then people will bet on that horse. And if it actually wins, then they are winning. But and like first in the first race, the horse wins, so they get some money. And once the horse win, people are confident that will win again. Then they will bet on that horse again. But at the third time, when more and more people are starting to bet on the horse, they will make the horse lose. So that kind
Okay.
of manipulation, real world manipulation could be there. There is a. I'm not sure if I was able to explain the example very well.
Yes. I think, yes, in here, so if the event itself, so even if the, so unlike this traditional betting thing, you can't manipulate the odds, but what you can manipulate is the outcome of the event itself. So if this kind of events are, if some people has control over those events, so it can be manipulated. So I think this is one area of point that could be researched further to get the answers, like whether it can be manipulated or is there any checks and balances here. Yes.
For example, I
Therefore,
really believe any markets related to Elon Musk could be manipulated by him.
yes, yes, like this kind of
Could
things,
have
like,
influence on what the bet should.
so for example, this things like this could be manipulated. Like this is like this question is, what is this? Number of tweets between 21st November and 28th November. What is the, how is it? This market will dissolve to the number of times Elon Musk posts on the main feeds. Quote and okay. What is the kind of, okay. I think so since the time is already over, today is 29th, this is 28th. So it's resolved. Yes. Okay. So this bet was on how many tweets he will make within this week. So there are different ranges like 460 to this. And they finally he posted 280 to 299. Now if Elon Musk himself decides to bet on this one, so it is in his complete power to, okay, he'll say, okay, I'll make only 200 tweets this week, and then he'll bet his money there.
Mm.
So in those kind of scenarios, it can be manipulated. So yes, but yes, that is true. It is not perfectly in control. But I think for those kind of topics are also not newsworthy. How many tweets he's going to make is not a very important news for the humanity in general. But things like war, politics, those are important things. And also, it is very difficult for a
If
single
you go to
person
the
to manipulate.
tech tab, what kind of bets are there?
This is the tech tech. Largest company, Game of the Year, AI model, will Gemini release Gemini 3.0, Flash. Okay. Second release company, Zuckerberg divorce in 2025. What kind of bet is that?
That is what
Who
I'm
will,
thinking. But the most of the, like, they're very childish or not very useful kind of bets. most
Yeah,
of them, at least from what it seems.
I
Either
mean,
they're AI. Right now, what is trending is, at least, which is the best AI, mostly AI related.
yes, these are mostly AI related. But I think the one that I find useful are those kind of things like to there is an IPO question like create an IPO buy. This kind of questions are actually from an investor's point of view, financial investor's point of view, this is important.
So
TikTok
like you'll have
sales
to filter through quite a lot of them to find some interesting hole.
news. Yeah. Like for example, again, this micro strategy announced bankruptcy, those kind of thing. SpaceX Starship, Databricks IPO. So those are kind of quite important. But also there are some silly questions like this divorce thing,
Mm.
this silly question, and some are not very important, like top five search person Google. Okay, this is fun, but not very important. Yes. What about culture? So the highest grossing movie. Again, these kind of things are not very important. Like, oh, it doesn't matter what videos are high, but still, like it's fun to bet on those kind of things. Yes,
Well, I
and
think some of
I did not
these
mention
questions
the
are very
freedom
meme
thing
based.
because it only
Like
works on cryptocurrency. I tried this thing. Uh, you can't.
you can deposit with card.
I it does it didn't work. I didn't. I thought it would be much simpler, but it's not. I have to create a crypto account and so on. And
But there's an option to deposit with
right.
card.
So basically, you need to own cryptocurrencies, some of the ones that are accepted here. They can't directly invest through money or through normal currencies like rupees or dollars. And talking of which, cryptocurrencies in India are quite, it's not that easy. And also the apps that they use, I researched a bit. India has platforms like CoinDCX and so on, but it does not accept those kind of things. It accepts platforms like Binance, which is good, but again, in India, it's not easy to create an account as an Indian citizen to on Binance. So, so the technical formalities are quite, it's there, but I will try to find a way into it. So, like investing in US was also not easy, but eventually I found a way to do it. So finally, I can now. So you need to have, create a different bank account and so on for the US markets. But I'll figure something out for this one as well over time. But yeah, these were the two main benefits here as an investment tool and as a source of news. So anything else you want to say here?
No.
Okay, I realized my earphones charge is not there anymore. That's why I wasn't able to hear you. Okay, so we can end this one.
Yeah.
Okay.